Dragon Age: The Veilguard's reviews are here, and according to a bunch of journalists, it's like the best Dragon Age game ever, but to all of us who have eyes and who have been seeing the gameplay footage and so on and so forth, we know that it looks lame and gay. So what is the disconnect? Are these journalists being paid or manipulated in whatever fashion to push these great reviews and trick people into buying a gay game? Let's go ahead and dive into this video and discuss. So we have coming to us from That Park Place. A YouTuber speculates BioWare is attempting to manipulate reviews by not handing out review codes to creators critical of game during a playtest. I mean, you kind of see this much already in, I mean, this is pretty par for the course in general with a bunch of games. Like, for example, with Tomb Raider, I used to get codes, products for giveaways. I got sent to events. I got a bunch of swag goodies from different Tomb Raider. I mean, especially like whenever the reboot games were first coming out, I got like swag bags, all that kind of stuff, and early access, this, that, or the other. Well, once I started speaking out more vocally about my critiques and all of that kind of stuff, and how, hey, wait a minute, this isn't making Lara Croft become the Tomb Raider. This is a replacement of Lara Croft, and I don't like that. Then, all of a sudden, I didn't get codes anymore. I didn't get any swag bags or anything like that. And so a lot of these companies do is obviously that, but in addition to that, a lot of times they do foster they try to foster like a friendship with the influencers, if you will, by taking them on trips and by following them, developers and all that, following them on social media and kind of buddying with them. And so it puts them in a position to where, hey, if I go as hard as I want to on this, I'm going to offend them. I'm going to lose my friends, and so on and so forth. And so a lot of, especially when you look at the influencer side of things, it is a lot more intimidating to do that. But even when it comes to journalist outlets, if they were to go as hard on this game as they should have, then it's like, oh, well, what if we burn some bridges with BioWare and they don't want to send us any codes anymore, and it's our job to review games, and getting access to them earlier helps with that and all of that stuff. So anyway, YouTuber Fextra Life speculated that BioWare is attempting to manipulate reviews by only handing out review codes to individuals who give overwhelmingly positive reviews of the game. Again, this is very par for the course, so I wouldn't be surprised of that whatsoever. So 3 creators, myself included, were a bit more critical than others with our hands-on time with Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Not a single one of us will be getting review code with time to actually give opinions before release. Just thought I would throw that out there, says Wolfheart FPS. Please keep in mind, folks, that this does not mean that my more critical opinion is better or more truthful than those who have been more positive. I'm just simply pointing out how marketing works. This also doesn't mean the game will be bad, but it's something to consider. I mean, again, this is very par for the course, and honestly, it's dishonest. And then there's an issue with all of this. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It puts the creator in a very uncomfortable position. So even if they do want to be more critical, they've got to soften how that is. And again, I've seen this in the Tomb Raider community at large. There's a lot of influencers in the Tomb Raider community who will say very nice things about what's going on with the new stuff, but then, you know, I've literally had conversations with them behind closed doors where they hated the new stuff that they're praising. So, I mean, outright just dunked on it behind closed doors. But then, you know, in the public and what they're saying on social media is positive things because they don't want to damage their reputation that they have with, in that case, Crystal Dynamics. So, yeah, I imagine this is also the case going on with Dragon Age as well. So what we see here, which he said, this Dragon Age: The Veilguard situation, a legendary drops here, is the most mask-off attempt at scamming an audience I've ever seen. Legacy Media is throating it, while historically positive creators and players are saying it's a dumpster fire. you effing absolute morons, you thought it would work, which is exactly what's going on. I said, we're witnessing a gigantic psyop and gamers aren't taking the bait. Goodbye, BioWare. So as you can see, even IGN giving it a 9. You've got a bunch of these mainstream outlets giving it 9s, even 10s, saying, oh, it's the best Dragon Age game ever made. When we have eyes, we can see the footage. We can see how terrible it looks. And we can see all of the queer ideology, especially, just absolutely infested in there. So with the IGN review, it has 4.7 thousand likes and 25,000 dislikes on the review video. So again, gamers are not taking the bait on this. We are identifying as non-binary. If you know, you know. Non-binary. People are like, what does this even mean? It was funny because people were saying we need a non-binary flag, and someone made this, which is perfect. Basically what non-binary means is we're not buying these woke games. So there you have it. I was like, this is the one. This is the non-binary flag. So here's some more footage of the game I wanted to show, shared by Pirate Nation, who says, these are the Dragon Age Veilguard puzzles designed for smart players who want a challenge. Witness this puzzle. Wow, brilliant! This is something else that we see a ton in a bunch of woke games, is just babied down gameplay, and I hate that. I hate that so much because, I mean, seriously, us as gamers, what we enjoy is a challenge. So we like to play, I mean, those of us who have been playing video games before all of this, before it hit like super mainstream and all that kind of stuff, video games are notoriously difficult. If you told someone you were a gamer, they were like, oh, wow. Like they saw you as somebody who was really dedicated, either had skill or just complete dedication to keep trying and trying and trying with these games, because they were known to be, video games were known to be difficult. Well, nowadays, most mainstream video games are catered to just a very babied down audience and people who aren't really that much of gamers, and they don't want a challenge. They don't want difficult puzzles. That's why the character will tell you what to do, or you've got shiny or yellow paint or shiny objects that show you where to go, and that's just not fun. That's not fun at all. I mean, this is why I love the remasters for Tomb Raider so much. I mean, these are games that are video games and a lot more difficult, and that you actually have to use your brain and you actually have to play the freaking video game. I took some fun screenshots of it. I'm hijacking this video to talk about Tomb Raider. But yeah, I've been having fun with these, and why I love these so much is like, hey, I get to play a game where I can explore and solve puzzles and, you know, shoot dinosaurs, so on and so forth. Also, another thing Dragon Age Veilguard has done is taken out spiders. Because, oh, we can't scare people with arachnophobia. We're going to take out spiders. Oh, I don't know what it is with games doing this and having this fake virtue. First of all, how many people with arachnophobia exist? Is it even that many who can't even handle a video game having spiders in it? So we're going to be catering all these games. Now games can't have spiders in it. The last Jedi Fallen Order, or whatever the other one was, they also, I can't remember if they just took out spiders or if they had an option to take out spiders, but I digress. That's the thing, is video games have often had spiders in them. I mean, it's very normal, especially like in a fantasy type setting and you're in some cage or cave or something like that. It's like, oh, there's going to be spiders in there. So yeah, this is clearly, this entire game is just, I mean, watch my last video too if you want to see all the queer stuff in it, because the game's trying to make you gay. The lead designer is a man pretending to be a woman, so a transgender, yeah, a man. And the ideology is so you can't dodge it. It's not like, you know, some people play Baldur's Gate 3 and love it because even though Baldur's Gate 3 is a gay game as well, they're like, oh, well, you can avoid it. You don't have to. See, I refuse to even play it because I don't play gay games. But still, they're like, you can avoid it all or most of it at least. Okay, sure. But with Dragon Age the Veilguard, you can't even avoid it. It's this whole gender ideology. It affects the game. It affects the gameplay. You get more dialogue options if you come out as transgender in the game. Not to mention Tasha, character who constantly talks about her fake non-binary gender and so on and so forth. So you can't even avoid this stuff. But anyway, yeah, it definitely appears to be the case that that BioWare has attempted to manipulate reviews on this, especially with the access codes. But again, this isn't anything new. Game companies do this. It's a problem. It's gotten to a point to where we can't really trust anybody with an early access code in general. That's just where we're at with all of this. So yeah, it's a shame. This is a practice that I would like to see stop with video games. I think that, I mean, at this point, because you can't trust it, they shouldn't be handing out codes, free codes at all. People can play the game when it first comes out and come out with a review shortly after, however long it takes them to beat the game. But this whole early access, free codes, early codes, it has been corrupted too much, and you just can't trust it. And even like what I was talking about, the Tomb Raider stuff, like with myself, that was actually really hard to do, to upset people within the company because I wasn't happy with what is going on with the newer games and so on and so forth, and how, okay, you know, I've offended people in the community. They don't want to be my friend anymore. I don't get to do all this fun stuff that I used to be able to do with these companies because I'm not blindly adoring what they're doing with it, and I'll say what I don't like. And yeah, that's put me in a position now to where it's like, okay, well, I don't get buddied with anymore. I don't get free stuff anymore. I don't, and so for a lot of people, especially when you're looking at smaller creators who don't have as much of an audience, it's like, wow, they already feel like, oh my goodness, I'm actually making it. I'm getting early codes. Like, this is my foot in the door. And they're not going to want to throw that away. So a lot of them are being, I mean, it's a spectrum. Some of them are being just withholding some of their honesty or sugarcoating some of their honesty, while others are flat out just trashing on the games to their friends, but then in their actual reviews praising them. So, or social media posts or this or that. Again, like I've seen in the Tomb Raider community. I'm just saying that Tomb Raider ambassador program, fan site program person that you might be following and who are praising the reboot stuff and the Netflix stuff or this or that or the other, they hate it. It's the reality. A lot of them hate it, but you won't see that. Anyway, there you have it for this video. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, if you want me to read the Bible to you, you can check out my Bible channel, Bible Time with Melanie Mack. Thank you all again. I'll catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom.